Hello, in this video we're going to go through this example question. This is really a quadratic expressions kind of exercise, but what we're going to do at the end is I'm going to add a part D and we'll see how they can kind of extend this question a little further. So a garden path is designed to have a walking path of a constant width around the perimeter as shown. So there it is. There's our garden part, here's our path. Given the dimensions shown in the diagram, give a simplified expression which represents the area of only the garden, both the garden and the path, and only the path. So this is a really teaching question because it's setting you up. So we're going to start with let A sub G represent B area of garden. So therefore A sub G is going to be 17 times 12. And I might as well multiply that out. So 17 times 12 is 204. 204. Okay, so now let's let area of the garden, the path, let's call it area total, be total area. Well, the total area is going to be the length times the width. So if this is 17 from here to here, and this is x, and this is x, therefore the length is going to be 2x plus 17. And we can apply the same thinking here. Traveling from here to here is x, from there to there is 12, from there to there is x. So we have 2x plus 12. So the area total is going to be equal to 2x plus 7 times 2x plus 12. Now the temptation here might be to expand this, but if I was doing this at this point, I would say there's no actual reason for me to expand this right now. The question doesn't ask you to, so we'll just leave it like that. So now we want only the path. So we're going to let AP be the area of path. So the area of the path is going to be the total area minus the area of the garden. So therefore, the total area we see is 2x plus 7, 2x plus 12 multiplied together, plus, oh sorry, not plus, we want to subtract, minus 204. Now what I've done here is actually just a little kind of helpful point is when you're first learning this, it's really nice to put these in brackets because it allows you to avoid calculation errors, specifically when you have minuses in here. In this question it's not a big issue, but it's always good to add a couple extra parentheses as you're learning to help avoid those careless mistakes. So we expand this now because now I have a reason to expand this. So I'm going to get 2x times 2x is 4x squared plus 24x plus 7 times 2 is 14x. 7 times 12 is plus 204 minus 204. So I'm going to get 4x squared, and then 24 plus 14 plus 38x plus 204 minus 204. Now we're running out of space, so we'll just scroll down just a little bit here. So we get 4x squared plus 38x, and that would be the area of the garden. So now that we've solved this, let's take this question one step further. Let's make a part D, and let's say find x if the path area, the area of the P is equal, area of the path is equal to, let's say, 66, and that would be meters squared, right? So if that was the situation, the first thing I would do is all I would take is therefore I would say 66 is equal to 4x squared plus 38x. Then I see now here I have a quadratic. So once I have this quadratic, the next step I'm going to do is try and get my special form. So 0 is equal to 4x squared plus 38x minus 66. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a common factor initially, so I'm going to factor out a 2. So I get 2x squared plus 19x minus 33. So now, this looks like a pretty tricky one to factor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my product sum. So I'm going to say product is equal to 2 times negative 33 is negative 66, and the sum is equal to 19. So now I have to find two numbers that multiply to negative 66, but add to give me 19. So since the product is negative, I know one has to be negative. And since the sum is positive, the larger of those two numbers has to be positive. So let's just start dividing 66. So we know 33 times 2 is 66. But 33 plus 2, or plus minus 2, sorry, minus, is equal to 31. So that's not good. So what about, well, 66, what about 22 times negative 3? Well, that sure enough is negative 66. So then what about 22 minus 3? And that is 19, so that's perfect. So now I'm going to apply decomposition. So I'm going to say 0 is equal to, and I'm actually at this point, I'm going to do two steps. I'm going to divide both sides by 2, so that 2 in front disappears. 2x squared, and now I'm going to decompose the b term. So 2x squared plus 22x minus 3x minus 33. And now I'm going to apply my nice little rule here. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to factor to both of those. So that's 2x, and I get x plus 11 minus 3. And if I've done this right, this should be x. Ah, perfect. It's the same. So therefore, I get 2x minus 3 times x plus 11. So therefore, the two possible answers are x could equal negative 11, or x could equal 3 over 2, which is equal to 1.5 meters. So now when I get to this point, I need to stop and ask myself, well, do these both make sense? And, well, since length won't be negative, we can ignore this one. So this is a nice little question that kind of combines all the things we're doing so far. And I encourage you just to kind of go through it again. And you know what I do, if you've watched this once, is pull up the question somewhere else and try and work through it on your own. I hope this helped.